Summer camp is one of the greatest experiences a child can have. But when we think about the camp experience, we rarely think about the logistics. What should we pack? When should we arrive? How do we sign our children in? The aim of this video is to help explain these situations, and to help any parent through the experience of dropping their campers off for summer camp. The first part of being ready for camp is packing your bags. Many families that are new to summer camp may not know what to pack to ensure that their campers have what they need to have a good week at camp. Here's a quick checklist to help. Weather-appropriate clothes. Make sure your camper has plenty of clothes that suit the weather forecast. If it's going to be hot, pack extra clothes so that your camper can change in the middle of the day if necessary. If it might rain, make sure to pack a raincoat or a poncho. Also, make sure that your camper brings a towel and swimming clothes. Since your camper will be showering at camp and swimming at the waterfront, a towel and a swimsuit are essential. Toiletries. Since your camper will be living at camp for a week, it is a necessity to bring along your ordinary toiletries. A toothbrush and toothpaste, soap and shampoo for the shower, deodorant, and anything else your camper may need should be packed for camp. Bug spray and sunscreen. Since your camper will be spending a majority of their time at camp outdoors, bug spray and sunscreen are a must. At camp, campers are exposed to mosquitoes, biting flies, ticks, and other insect pests that can be repelled through using bug spray. Nobody wants to see their child return from camp covered in bug bites or a bad sunburn. Make sure you pack bug repellent and sunblock to make sure that this doesn't happen. Medications. If your child needs any medications, make sure that they are packed with their things and brought to camp. If your child uses an asthma inhaler, for example, make sure that they bring it with them to camp. We will cover how the camp handles medications later on in this video. Now that you've handled packing for camp, let's talk about what to do when you get there. When you first arrive at camp, you will line up at the front gate. Once you reach the main entrance, you'll be greeted by a staff member who will ask for your camper's name. The staff member will tell you what cabin your camper's been placed in and direct you on how to get there. Once you arrive at the cabin, you'll meet your child's counselor for the week. Your child may choose a bunk and drop off their belongings. Then, you must check your camper in with their counselor. Every counselor has a clipboard with some paperwork that parents need to fill out. First, they will ask if your camper plans on leaving camp early for any reason, such as a sporting event, doctor's appointment, or family gathering. Then, they will ask for a list of everyone who is allowed to pick your camper up at the end of the week. This is done as a safety measure to ensure that your child only leaves with someone that they know and that is supposed to be taking care of them. It is recommended that parents write down not only their own names, but the names of several others in case of an emergency that prevents you from picking up your camper as planned. Finally, the counselor will ask you about money for the trading post. Throughout the week, campers can go to the trading post to purchase snacks, drinks, and t-shirts. All trading post money is given to the counselor, who then deposits it into an envelope which is taken to the camp bank for safekeeping. Once the camper is checked in at the cabin, there is one last major step in the check-in process. Once you've finished checking in at the cabin, the counselor will likely tell you to take your camper down to the rec shelter to finish check-in. The rec shelter is a large, open-air shelter located at the end of an open field in the center of camp. You'll most likely be able to recognize it by the multicolored flags surrounding it and the hustle and bustle of other families checking in. At the rec shelter, there are several stations that you and your camper will have to go through to finish checking in. The first station to visit is a general questionnaire. Camp staff will ask you questions about your camper's medical history, recent illnesses, and about whether or not they brought anything that isn't allowed at camp, like cell phones or weapons. The second station is a lice check. Every camper must take a lice screening before camp to make sure we don't have an outbreak on our hands. The third station is one that not every camper needs to visit. If your camper needs medications, the camp nurse will take them here. This way, your camper's medications will be kept safe throughout the week, and the nurse will make sure that they are administered correctly. Finally, every camper must take a height check at the last station. The height check is one of the many ways we help to create a safe environment at the waterfront. Every camper is given a colored band according to their height at the beginning of camp to set boundaries on the depth of the lake that they are allowed to swim in. Early in the week, every camper is also given the option to take a swimming test so that they can swim in the deep end. But until they take the test, the height test serves as an extra layer of protection. Once your camper has been through every station at the rec shelter, you can return them to their cabin and say goodbye for the week. Now that they're checked in, they're ready to have the week of a lifetime. Before the end of the video, let's address some common questions and concerns that many parents have before checking their campers in. What should I do if I can't check my camper in at the usual time? Believe it or not, it is pretty common for campers to check in later than the normal time. We understand that campers are involved in other activities, and we do our best to accommodate them. If you know that your camper will be arriving late to camp, the best action to take is to call the office and let them know so that they can inform your child's counselor. Then, when you do arrive at camp, make sure to check in at the main office first instead of heading straight for the cabin. All the check-in paperwork will be housed there, and they will be able to check your camper in. What if I need to pick up my camper early? Again, this is a common occurrence here at camp. When you check in with your child's counselor, they will ask you if your camper will be leaving at any time during the camp week. Please let your counselor know about any plans you have to pick your camper up early so that they can be available to help check your camper out. Sometimes, in the event of a sporting event or a doctor's appointment, campers will be checked out and then returned to camp later. In this case, just make sure to inform your child's counselor and check your camper out and in with them at your camper's cabin. I plan on sending my camper with a cell phone so that they can contact me in case of emergency. Is that okay? Actually, 4-H Memorial Camp does not allow for campers to have cell phones. Every counselor has a phone with them that can be used in case of emergency, and every problem goes through the camp office. If something goes wrong, the camp office will contact you immediately. Thank you for watching this quick instructional video about camp check-in at 4-H Memorial Camp. We hope this video has made check-in less intimidating for both parents and campers. We can't wait to see you at camp soon!